Hello and welcome to another one of my hand history reviews. And this particular hand, we are playing 6 max micro stakes. The first thing we should do is look at the stack sizes. We have an average stack, medium size stack, medium to large size stack, average to medium size stack, and we're medium to average size stack. So we'll go ahead and get started. And when it's folded to me, I usually like to bet 3 to 3.5 big blinds. I find that if I bet smaller than that, I end up in a multi-way pot, or worse, I get 3 betted. Queen 10 suited on the button, there could be argument made to fold that, but in this particular instance, I decided to raise, and for whatever reason, I decided to raise a little bit larger. And small blind gets out of the way, and big blind calls. So we have 90 hands, still not that many hands, with a VPIP of 31, a PFR of 25, kind of a loose, aggressive player. If you don't know what these stand for, please look them up. I don't have the time to go into that in this particular video. But let's give the villain a range. We entered Queen 10. This particular program is called Flopzilla. If you're not familiar with that, there are a lot of great videos out there. It is, in my opinion, a must-have for hand reviews. And this particular player, I gave him my usual 37% passive calling range. I think these that are not highlighted, they tend to 3-bet with those. So you may or may not agree with my range I give him, but you've got to start somewhere. So versus this hand, this range, we're 49% favors to win. So it's a coin toss. And not a great, but not a bad flop for us. Let's go ahead and enter that real quick. We've got the Jack of Spades, King of Diamonds, and the 4 of Diamonds. So we will click this off. So before any action gets to us, we're a 45% favorite to win. Now, since I was a pre-flop raiser and I do have a open-ended straight draw, I usually like to be the aggressor. He might, if he doesn't have a draw or a king or jack, he may just fold and we pick up the blinds without any conflict, which is fine by me. And if we do hit our straight on the turn, it's kind of hidden. So how much should we bet? Well, I would like to take the pot down now, so I usually like to make it about a 2/3 pot bet, but let's see what we do. Villain checks, and I do indeed make a 2/3 size pot bet roughly, and villain calls. So let's see what he would check call with. Alright, so I like to make it red on the ones that call that are beat us. Well, there's no straights yet. Sets, if he hit a set, he would slow play that. So yes, I believe he would call. 2 pairs, if he had king 4, he would slow play that as well. If he had an overpair, there aren't any overpairs available, so we'll just click that anyhow. Top pair, if he just hit his king and we kicker, yeah, he'd probably just call. What about a pair lower? Well, there's not any, but we'll still click that. Middle pair, well, that's beating us as well, so he would call with the middle pair. Would he call with 10s through 5s? Yeah, he would call that for at least one flop. These players don't like to fold their pairs. Bottom pairs, yeah, he would call for one more street. And 3-3-2-2, I think he would actually give up on that one. And he would not check call no made hands, but if he had a draws, well, these are actually hands that we're not beating, but we're not losing to, so we'll go ahead and make all the draws in green. So right now we click green to say that these are the hands he would play this way. We're losing to about 65% of the hands in his range, if I did range him correctly. So, we're only a favorite to win 40% of the time. Unless the turn improves, I probably will be done with this hand. Obviously, he has something he likes, Now, if I had a king or a jack, or I would probably have raised this wet board. But remember, you have to think like the villain, how the villain plays, not how you would play it. And passive players only will raise with the nuts, and usually only on the river. So an ace, that is a great hand for us, actually. It gives us a hidden straight. Hopefully he has an ace. So what does villain do? Villain checks. Alright, so now the question is, well, let's just enter it real quick. So we've got the ace. Unclick that. So before the hand even starts, any action starts, I'm sorry, we're 92% favored to win this. So now how do we extract maximum value? Well, that is a scare card unless he has an ace. So we need to bet enough that gives him the wrong odds to call if he's still on a draw. But we still want our aces and kings to call. He may not believe we have an ace. So I would say at bare minimum a half size pot bet. In this case we checked. Why? Why did we check? I don't like to slow play, so I'm going to say I misclicked or something, because that was a huge mistake. Now we just gave him a free card. So we are either chopping it or losing. So what does villain do? Villain checks. Let's see what he would do that with. So we enter the queen of diamonds. Whoops. And now we unclick this. And we're still 72% favored to win. Now let's enter this. What would he check with? Well, frankly, well, I mean, obviously he would just check with everything. No, I disagree with that. I think he would bet those. If he had the straight, maybe that flush card scared him. So, if that's the case, we're ahead. So if he hit the flush, I think he would have bet. If he hit two pair, I think the flush card would have scared him. Same thing with sets. So yeah, I think we're ahead. So I think we should bet, roughly, I would say a third of the pot. If we bet a third of the pot, we might still get the ace to call us. We might still get maybe a king to call us. So in this particular case, we got half pot, a little more than I think we should, but that's fine. And we get raised. Okay, well that changes things. What would he check raise with? Well, there's no royal flush, there's no straight flush. Let's go ahead and click this, sorry. He would do that with a flush. Would he check raise a straight? I wouldn't, but he would possibly do it. I don't think he would do that set anymore. I think he'd have just been happy to call. Same thing with two pair. So really the only things that he would be check raising with, you know, we're winning against 70% of them and only losing against 30%. So So I guess a call would be in order. But let's just say, would he really check raise a straight? Wouldn't he just be happy to call that? This is where it gets difficult getting into their heads. Me, I would have just check called it. But let's say he doesn't, and if he doesn't check call that, then we're losing. He has played this strangely. Well, because villains do not like to bluff the river, and they definitely don't like to check raise on bluffs, I'm going to have to assume he hit his flush, and so the best move, the correct move, would be to fold, even though I would hate to do it. But man, that's just tough to fold a straight like that, especially by checking the turn. As played, since I did check the turn, I'm going to have to call that, which I do, and Jack 8. Really? Jack 8 suited. Would he have folded the turn bet? Probably not. Like I said, they love to chase. So I don't know. I played this hand poorly. And was Jack 8 even on our... No, we didn't even give him the Jack 8. Jack 9 suited as low as we went. So maybe I need to change my passive calling range on here. Well, yeah, that hand was not played well in my opinion. So if you agree, disagree, have suggestions, remember I am not a pro. Feel free to leave constructive comments in the below, and thank you for watching.